Hello, Maris. Let's wait for the others. Do you guys hear me? Everyone is free to ask questions. If you guys have questions, you can just unmute yourself. We will start in around a minute. I hope you guys hear me properly.
Yes.
Okay. Are you guys still using the indicator, or how are you doing with the indicator so far?
Pretty well.
Okay. Um, we are there are still some members who are not on our Zoom meeting. I guess let's wait for another minute, then we can start. Okay, let's start now. So we can discuss everything. Let's just wait for other members to come on our Zoom meeting. And as usual, as our usual webinar, I will discuss all the 28 pairs from AUD CAD to USD JPY. And we will discuss about the strategy that I'm using on this indicator. And it's just the same as the old webinars, but uh, yeah, this is the same strategy that I'm using since before. So as usual, we will only use three time frames: the D1 time frame, H4, and H1 time frame. So let's start from AUD CAD. One moment. So from AUD CAD, I know there are two trades here uh, this week. So from D1, as you can see, the general trend of D1 time frame on AUD CAD was sell since last month. On H4, there was a sell here too, and on H1, there was this sell around May 17 last Monday, the sell signal here. So let's plot the Fibonacci level 2 days backwards. So this is Monday, then we will start then from Tuesday and Friday. So we will plot it like this. Okay, and as we can see, let's zoom in. And as we can see, the price is above 50, is below 50 Fibonacci, so we can enter the trade from this candle closing at 1.99384, and as usual our TP would be at 100 Fibonacci, so it's gonna be here. And we should already enter a sell trade from this point up to here, and our TP was hit at Wednesday because this trade is Monday. Tuesday is still floating. At Wednesday, the TP was hit, 100 Fibonacci was hit. So it's around a TP of around 60 pips. take profit for AUD CAD. So let's take note of it. AUD CAD, there is a plus 60 pips. That was taken last Monday, and there was another. So Tuesday to one moment. It's gonna be from this point. This is the highest candle on Tuesday, and the lowest candle was Wednesday. And as we can see, it's the R50 Fibonacci level was hit. So if our Fibonacci level was hit, our TP would be the 100 Fibonacci, which is this point. So it's gonna be 36.5 pips. So let's just put around 36 pips plus 36 pips for AUD CAD. Then, do you guys still follow me? The strategy that we're using on AUD CHF, again, we would have our general trend from D1 time frame. One moment, let me close it. The general trend for AUD CHF was a sell since last month. On H4, it was sell last week. So we would only be looking for a sell on H1 time frame. And as we can see, there was a sell around Monday, May 17th. So we would plot it 2 days backwards. It's a 2 period separators backwards. It's gonna be from this point, the lowest, up to here. Did I plot it right? No. It's gonna be from this point up to, until here. Yeah. So as we can see, this is the sell signal last Monday, and our 50 Fibonacci wasn't hit, and the price already went down to our 100 Fibonacci. So this is not a valid trade because we didn't manage to take this trade. And on Wednesday, that's May 17th. Then on May 18th, there was another sell signal. So if you would plot it, it's gonna be from these two separators, from this point up to here, until here, and it's gonna be from this point. And as we can see, there's this sell signal on AUD CHF, and our 50 Fibonacci was hit. This is the 50 Fibonacci. I'll put it here so everyone will see it. So this is our entry price at 50 Fibonacci. Then our TP is gonna be on this point. And as we can see, it was hit, and our TP would be around 29 pips for AUD CHF. So let's take note of it. AUD CHF has 29 pips. Then the next one is the last one is sell around Thursday, and we would plot 2 days backwards again from this point to this point. And as we can see, the sell price or the sell signal is already above 50 Fibonacci. So this is not, we don't need to take this trade anymore. So there is only one entry for AUD CHF. So now let's go to AUD JPY. As we can see, the general trend was buy since last November for AUD JPY. It already moved for around 900 pips. So on H4, it was a sell. So unfortunately, there is no trade for AUD JPY. Now let's go to AUD and NZD. Are you guys following me? If you have any questions, you're all free to ask any questions. Let me check our Facebook Live if some people are asking. So let's go to AUD NZD now. General trend for AUD NZD was sell since last month. On H4, it was already buy. So there is no valid entry for AUD NZD. On AUD USD, the general trend is a buy. On D1 since last month. On H4, it was there is a little bit of buy, but it became sell again. So there is no entry on AUD USD. Just a short recap, always remember that we would only be taking trades if H4 and D1 have the same signal. Then once H1 give us the same direction with the higher time frames, we would be entering a trade. That's why if H4 and D1 doesn't have the same signal, we will already skip that pair. So again, on CAD CHF, the general trend is buy since last month. H4, it's just some buy, but it became sell again, so there is no valid trade for CAD CHF2. On CAD JPY, the same. As you can see, it was a buy here on D1 time frame since last November. On H4, however, this coming week it's gonna be buy already. So we should prepare for, or we should look for some buy signals this coming week for CAD JPY, because this sell signal will change already. So next is a CHF JPY. One moment. On CHF JPY, the general trend is a buy since 2 months ago, since March. On H4, there was a sell and there was a buy, and we can check it if you guys want. So on H1 time frame, as you can see, oh no, one moment. Let's put the backs so we would know the buy signal. So these are all the buy signals for CHF JPY on here up to this point. So what's inside the rectangle would be a valid, we would be checking it. So as we can see, there's this buy inside the CHF JPY. It was Tuesday, May 18th. So we can plot the Fibonacci level to these backwards again. Since this is May 18th, this is 17th, and the 14th. So it's gonna be like this. As we can see, the 50 Fibonacci, and the price is above 50 Fibonacci. So it's not a valid entry anymore for CHF JPY. And as we can see, there's another buy signal here. However, on H4 time frame, it indicates that it's a sell. So it's not a valid entry for CHF JPY. But still, we are looking for buy signals on CHF JPY this coming week. Next is EUR AUD. The general trend for D1 time frame was buy a few days ago. I guess this was last week. So on H4 time frame, it was buy since last week too. So this week we would only be looking for buy signals on EUR AUD. So if you would plot EUR AUD 2 days backwards since Monday, it's gonna be from this point up to here. And as we can see, one moment. As we can see, our 50 Fibonacci was hit at this price. Remember everyone, if our price wasn't hit, because as we can see, let me explain this thoroughly. As we can see, the price closed above 50 Fibonacci. So if this happens, we would only be taking or put a buy limit order at price of 1.56408 at 50 Fibonacci level. So once the price went down, we would have a buy order for EUR AUD. And as we can see, we took our trade from this point after a few hours, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. After the 7th hour, our 100 Fibonacci was hit. So we would be making at least 47 pips for EUR AUD. Let me take note of that. So on EUR AUD, we have the 47 pips. 47 pips. So the next one is there was another buy signal. Oh, where is that? The next one is there was a buy signal last Friday. So let's plot it. Let me remove this. So last Friday, this is the signal last Friday. So we would be plotting 2 days backwards again, from starting on Wednesday. So the lowest price until here. It's going to be from this point up to this point. But as we can see, our the price is above 50 Fibonacci level already. So this means that we can't take this trade anymore, and it already hit the 100 Fibonacci So this one is not a valid entry. We don't have any trades for EUR AUD. However, as we can see, there's another buy signal on H1 time frame, and the plot of Fibonacci level would be like this now. So if you want to enter EUR AUD, we should we should have a buy limit at 1.7297. And take note, everyone, as you can see, I have this 90 Fibonacci level here. This line is 90 Fibonacci. Once the price hit the 90 Fibonacci and our buy limit wasn't hit, you should already close the buy limit further. And again, if ever that if the price hit this 50 Fibonacci and it went up to 90 Fibonacci level, you should at least save. You should already have a trailing stop with a difference of 20 pips or 30 pips. At least have a positive stop loss once the price hit the 90 Fibonacci level. So the next one is EUR CAD. The general trend for EUR CAD is sell. Again, for those who are at our webinar, you are free to ask any questions. Now the next one is EUR CAD. As we can see, it was a sell. The general trend for D1 time frame on EUR CAD is sell. On H4 it was a buy. So it has the signals have it has a different signals. The other one is buy, the other one is sell. So we can take trades on EUR CAD. On EUR CHF, the general trend is a sell on D1 time frame. Now let's go to H4. It was a buy. So the signals have opposite directions, so we can take any trades on EUR CHF. On EUR GBP, the general trend on D1 time frame was sell a few days ago, around last week. On H4, it was mostly buy, so there is no signal on EUR GBP too. It only became sell like few hours before the market closed. Now let's go to EUR JPY. I know this is a negative trade, but let's take a look of it. On D1 time frame, the general trend is buy. On H4, it was a buy for more than 2 weeks now. On H1, let's check H1. So let's start around it was only around this point. So when the market opened last Friday, it is a buy signal. So we would plot the Fibonacci level from this point to this point. So let's put a line on 50 Fibonacci. As we can see, the price is below 50 Fibonacci. So we should already be entering the price when the candle closed at the buy signal, which is at this point. However, as we can see, our 100 Fibonacci wasn't hit, so we would have our floating loss of negative 30 pips. So this is a floating trade of negative 30 pips. But we can still hold this trade because, as we can see, H4 time frame still has a buy signal. But as you can see, it's closing soon, but we can still hold this trade. But still, let's take note of it. So EUR JPY, we would have a floating loss of, how much is it again? Negative 30 pips. Let's put negative 30 pips. So the next one is EUR NZD. The general trend on EUR NZD was buy a few days ago. On H4, it was buy since last week. On H1, we will only be looking for buy signals on EUR NZD. So last Monday, there was a buy signal on EUR NZD. So we would be plotting it again 2 days backwards. This is the buy signal. So let's plot it 2 days backwards from here. And as we can see, the price is below 50 Fibonacci, and we will be entering the trade once the candle closed at this price at 1.67997. And our TP would be the 100 Fibonacci, which is here. This is our take profit. And as we can see, if we would check it, Did I plot it right? Yeah, our TP would be around 113 pips. So let's take note of that. 113 pips. 113 pips on EUR NZD. But actually, I can discuss this further because if we would check it properly, as you can see, we have a buy signal here, and in few hours, our 90 pips actually was hit. So, as I'm always teaching, you should save at least or have a 30 pips trailing stop. So instead of once the price hit this 90 Fibonacci, for instead of having 94 pips, we should already be saving around 65 pips here. So it should be around here with a 30 pips difference from the 90 Fibonacci. So it's a bit more. It should be at least a difference of 30 pips. Yeah, so around this point. So instead of hitting it on the next day, we should only be having a positive SL of around 67 pips on EUR NZD. Okay, I guess let's take note of that. Instead of 113 pips, we would only having 65 pips. It's part of securing our take profit. However, once our TP was hit on the same day, or our positive stop loss was hit around this point, on the next day, on Tuesday, there was another buy. So if you didn't manage to enter last Monday, there's another buy signal last Tuesday. So we would be plotting the Fibonacci level again, like this. And as we can see, our 50 Fibonacci was hit again. So there is another re-entry. On Monday, it's 65 pips. On Tuesday, it's gonna be like this from this point. So it's around another 91 pips the next day on EUR NZD. Did you guys followed follow the idea on EUR NZD? If you guys have a question on EUR NZD, you are free to ask. Did you get the idea of 90 Fibonacci level? Okay, let's go to EUR USD. Anyway, this is a recorded webinar. You can just watch it again on my Facebook page or on my YouTube channel. So next one is EUR USD. The general trend on EUR USD is buy since last month. On H4 time frame, it was buy since last week. So on H1 time frame, we would only be looking for buy signals. This was last week already, last Friday. So this is the only buy signal we got for this week. So we would be plotting the 50 Fibonacci 2 days backwards again, from this point to this point, from highest to lowest for the past 2 days since the buy signal came out. So this was Thursday again. So this is Wednesday and Tuesday. It's gonna be 2 days backwards. And as we can see, this is our 50 Fibonacci level. So we should have a buy limit here. However, this is what I'm talking about before. As we can see, after we plot our buy limit here, the price hit the 90 Fibonacci. So this means that we should close the buy limit already because the price hit the 90 Fibonacci. So we don't have any entry on this EUR USD. Next one is GBP AUD. The general trend on GBP AUD was buy since last week. On H4 time frame, it was buy since last week too. And as we can see on H1 time frame, there was a buy last Monday. This is Monday. So we would be plotting again the 100 or the Fibonacci levels from this point to this point. And as we can see, this is the 50 Fibonacci. Even the price closed above, let's zoom it. As we can see, the price closed above the 50 Fibonacci level. We won't enter the price immediately. We won't enter a trade immediately. Instead, we would have a buy limit at 1.81712. and this was Monday. As we can see, our 100 Fibonacci was hit the next day on Wednesday. So we would wait at least 24 hours for this trade, and our profit is 65 pips. Let's put 64 pips because of the commission. So GBP AUD has 64 pips. Then, as we can see, there's another buy signal last Thursday. Let's check it. Last Thursday, this is the buy signal, so we would be plotting our 50 Fibonacci, our Fibonacci levels again. 2 days backwards from this point to this point. And as we can see, our price wasn't hit. However, if you would check it here, it seems that it hit our 50 Fibonacci levels. However, because of the spread, and this is a market opening, the spread is really high during this time. So I know the GBP AUD on this price wasn't hit because we would be entering at the asking price, not the bid price, because the candle patterns are about the bid price, not the asking price. So we won't be able to enter this GBP AUD signal last Thursday. Now let's go to GBP CAD. The general trend for GBP CAD was sell since 2 months ago. So this means that we will only be looking for sell signals on GBP CAD. However, on H4 time frame, it was buy last week. So H4 and D1 have opposite signals, have different signals, so we won't be able to enter GBP CAD. Now let's go to GBP CHF. The general trend for GBP CHF was buy since this was a Monday closing, so it's gonna be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. On H4 time frame, it was buy since last week. So on H1 time frame, we would only be checking around Tuesday. There is no buy signal here. On Wednesday, there was a buy signal. So let's plot the GBP CHF 2 days backwards from this week. Our 90 Fibonacci level was hit. So we should at least have a positive SL already. That's how important the 90 Fibonacci is. Even RTP wasn't hit at 100 Fibonacci, we should already have a positive SL around this point. Since this is 42 pips, we should already be saving at least 15 to 20 pips here. So let's put it at the minimum, that's smallest pips. So let's put GBP CHF plus 15 pips. That's how important is our 90 Fibonacci level. Because if you didn't close it, you will be if you didn't have a positive SL, you will have a negative trade on GBP CHF. Then the next one is there was another buy signal on GBP CHF last Friday. So if you would plot our Fibonacci levels from this point to this point, it's from this point to this point. What's this? When the price hit 90 Fibonacci, we move the positive SL with how many pips? It's okay, let's do the math for the 90 Fibonacci. I'll give you an example. Okay. So this is the 50 Fibonacci level, right? Okay, this is the 50 Fibonacci level. Our 90 Fibonacci was hit. So this let's check this from this point to this point. It's around 40 pips already. You should have a trailing stop or a difference of 20 to 30 pips at least from this point. So at least save 10 to 15 pips if it's 40 pips difference from 50 Fibonacci to 90 Fibonacci level. So at least you should be positive 15 pips here to positive 20 pips. If it reach around 100, at least have a 30 pips difference. So it's gonna be at least 70 pips take profit, or 70 pips positive stop loss. Did you get what I mean? at least save 50% to 70% of the total pips. So if this is 40, the 50% of 40 is 20 pips. So at least save 20 pips. It depends how much the price move. If it's more than 100, at least 30 pips difference. If it's if it's just around the 50 pips, at least 20 pips difference. I hope I answered your question, Spasmir. Then, if no further question, let's get okay. It's good. Let's go now to GBP JPY. Just always take note in the 90 Fibonacci. What I'm talking back then was, if you remember our past webinars, what I'm talking back then was the highest closing candle. But I guess there's some users who don't get the highest closing candle. That's why right now I'm talking about 90 pips Fibonacci. So it would be a lot easier for you to detect whenever you should have a positive stop loss. So now let's go to GBP JPY. On GBP JPY, the general trend was buy since last month. On H4, it was buy since last week, closing candle last week, or the opening price last week. And now on H1 time frame, there was a buy signal. Oh no, this was Friday, so the only buy signal we got was this point, and we would be plotting it around here. As we can see, this is our 50 Fibonacci. At this point, we should have plot our buy limit on this price. Yeah, even though it almost hit our 90 Fibonacci, it's not a valid positive stop loss. I don't actually do it, but it already moved 50 pips, so it's fine. And as you can see, there's it's still a floating trade as of now, because the price is currently at the 50 Fibonacci. So we can still wait for this GBP JPY, even though there's a sell on H1 time frame already. H4 is still doing fine. As we can see, it's still a buy signal here, so we can still hold the trade on GBP JPY. And as we can see, we are just break even on GBP JPY. Let's take note of that. GBP JPY is break even. Now let's go to GBP NZD. The general trend on GBP NZD was buy this month. On H4, it was buy since last week. And now on H1, we would only be looking for buy signals. There was a buy signal last Monday, so we would be plotting again our Fibonacci levels 2 days backwards from this point to this point. And as we can see, our 50 Fibonacci was hit. It's almost very near at the closing price is very near at the 50 Fibonacci level. And this was Monday. We still holding our trades since Tuesday, and our TP was hit on Wednesday, so it's the second day. So our TP is around 127 pips. So on GBP NZD, we have 127 pips. So that's it for GBP NZD. And as we can see, there's another buy signal last Thursday. So we'll be plotting our Fibonacci level 2 days backwards again. It's gonna be here. Our 50 Fibonacci is at this point. However, as we can see, the 50 Fibonacci wasn't hit, and the price is already at 90 Fibonacci. So our buy limit at this point is not hit. So there is no more trade for GBP NZD anymore. Next one is GBP USD. The general trend for GBP USD was buy. On H4, it was buy since 2 weeks ago. So this means that we would only be looking for buy signals on GBP USD. This was Monday actually. This was Friday 2 weeks ago. So this is not a trade anymore. The only signal we got is at this point on GBP USD. So we would be plotting our Fibonacci level again. And as we can see, the price is above 50 Fibonacci already. So there is no entry for GBP USD, and the price was hit at 100 Fibonacci. So this means that you should already close the buy signal on GBP, the buy limit order on GBP USD. If we have valid signal on Monday, does that mean we put our Fibonacci on Thursday and Friday? Yes, it's gonna be 2 days backward. So it start from Thursday last week and Friday is included. If it's Monday, it's Thursday and Friday last week. If it's Tuesday, the Fibonacci level would be the Friday last week and Monday this week. You have any more questions? Okay, great. We should start as long as it's just the period separators that you are counting. This is what we call the period separator. For example, this is Friday, this is Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, then another Friday and Thursday. That's why if it's here, it's another 2 period separator where we would plot our Fibonacci levels. Next is NZD CAD. The general trend on NZD CAD was sell since last month. On H4 time frame, it was sell also since last month, around 3rd week of April. So on H1 time frame, we would be only looking for sell signals, and we would plot our Fibonacci levels. As we can see, this was Monday, as what you asked before. So it's 2 days backwards. It's gonna be Friday and Thursday. Since the market is closed during the weekends, we won't count it. So as we can see, it's gonna be like this. So this is our 50 Fibonacci level. As you can see, it almost hit the 90 Fibonacci. So we won't have any positive stop loss for this point. Anyway, our entry point won't be on 50 Fibonacci since the price is lower than 50 Fibonacci level. It's between 0 and 50. So it means we won't have any sell limit for this entry. Instead, we would have a sell. So it's a sell at the closing candle of the sell signal at 0.87408. And as usual, our TP would be at the 100 Fibonacci. So the entry is last Monday. It almost hit the 90 Fibonacci. So this means that we won't have any positive stop loss. It went back around Tuesday, but on Wednesday, our 100 Fibonacci was hit. So we would have at least 75 pips take profit for NZD CAD. So let's take note of it. NZD CAD, it's gonna be 75 pips. Am I right? I have to check it. Yeah, around 75 pips take profit for NZD CAD. And even though there is another sell signal here, we already have already entered here. Are you using the standard settings? Yes, I'm only using the standard settings on our indicator. As you can see, this is the standard settings. If you would, I would reset it. It's just like that. The default parameter on our indicator is the best setting that I'm using. So NZD-CHF, the general trend for NZD-CHF was sell since for this month. H4, it was sell since 2 weeks ago. On H1, let's check for sell signals on H1. As we can see, there was a sell here around Monday. So we would be plotting our Fibonacci levels from from Thursday and Friday. And as we can see, the closing candle, the closing price at the sell signal is below 50 Fibonacci, so we can enter a sell at this point, at the closing candle, this point. So our 100 Fibonacci was hit after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. After 7 hours, our 100 Fibonacci was hit, so it means our TP was hit with a profit of 34 pips. So let's take note of that. 34 pips for NZD-CHF. So we would still be looking for sell signals the next day. This was a Monday. On Tuesday, there is another sell signal. So we would be moving our Fibonacci level. So this was Friday, this was Thursday and Friday. Now we would plot it from Friday to Monday. We would move it since the sell signal moved. And as we can see, let's move this one. As we can see, this is the sell signal, and the closing candle is at this point. So we would have our sell entry at 0.65125. This is not a sell limit order, it's a sell. So we would enter the market already. So our 100 Fibonacci was hit the next following day. So it's around less than 24 hours. We would have another take profit of 38.6 pips. 38.6 pips. Or let's just put 38 pips here for NZD CHF. Then now let's go to NZD JPY. The general trend for NZD JPY was buy since last week. But however, it was sell this week. So as usual, H4 and D1 have opposite signals. We won't be entering NZD JPY. On NZD USD, it's the same. As you can see, that even though D1 is buy, however H4 is sell, so we won't be entering NZD USD. On USD CAD, the general trend was a sell for D1 time frame since February. On H4, there was a let's check it, because this was sell around this point, only here. Then there's another sell at this point. So let's check our H1 time frame. As you can see, there is no sell signals inside the box that we made, so there is no valid entry for USD CAD. Now on USD CHF, the D1 time frame is sell. The general trend for USD CHF was sell since last month. On H4, it was sell since last week. It means we would only be looking for sell signals on USD CHF. This was Thursday last week, and the first sell signal that we got was around Monday. So we would be plotting our 50 Fibonacci level 2 days backwards again, from this point to this point to this point. As we can see, the closing price was actually here. Even though it seems that our 50 Fibonacci was hit, however, the closing candle of this signal, this sell signal, was above 50 Fibonacci already. So this means that we can't enter this trade anymore. And even though it reversed around this point, our 100 Fibonacci was already hit. So our sell limit order would be valid. Then the next sell signal on USD CHF was last Thursday, so we will be plotting our Fibonacci levels like this. From Thursday, it's gonna be Tuesday and Wednesday. So as we can see, this is the 50 Fibonacci level again. However, the closing price is below 50 Fibonacci. Is above 50 Fibonacci, I mean. So it's gonna be here. And it's between the 50 and 90 pips, or 50 and 100 pips already, so we won't be entering this trade anymore. So there is no trade for USD CHF as well. Now on D1 time frame for the last pair, USD JPY, the general trend for USD JPY was buy. On H4 it was sell, so it has a different it has the opposite signals. One is sell, one is buy. So this means that there is no entry for USD JPY. Now for conclusions of this week's trade, let's do the math, or let's compute how many pips was it. So it's going to be plus 60, plus 36, plus 29, plus 47, minus 30 for the float. This is, however, this is just a floating trade, but let's consider it. Plus 65, plus 91, plus 64, plus 15, plus 127, plus 75, and plus 34. So around 600. Oh no, there's another plus 38. So if you guys manage to enter all the signals that we got, It's 651 pips for this week. However, on USD JPY, it's still floating trade. And most of the trades that we got for this week are all positive. One break even, one floating loss, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 positive trades. Do you guys still have more questions about our indicator and the strategy that we're using? This is a recorded webinar, so if you guys want to watch it again, you can. I will post the link on our Telegram group. Okay, I'm happy that it's very clear. No more questions. So I guess that's it for this week. Let's see if we would have our webinar again next week. Are you considering to post some signals on the group? Yeah, I've really got some busy. I've really got a bit busy since a few weeks now. But let me try to post some signal once in a while. Yeah. Just like usual, because some of the members are not chatting anymore. I hope you guys would help me and at least analyze the signals that I'm posting. I'll try to post this week for more signals. No more questions, everyone. Okay, no problem, Mers. That's it for our webinar. See you next week. And I hope more of our members would join our webinar. Have a great trading week because the market would open soon. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Yeah, thank you,
Bye.
everyone. No problem.